Am I bleeding? No, that's salsa.
No, it's just food.
Okay.
Okay. So I had another creamer thief.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So in my newest job, once again, they
Your
don't
sixth one this
provide.
year.
Again, just all employers provide creamer.
Yep, don't provide
Mm.
creamer, or coffee for that matter.
Oh, that's ghetto.
And so,
that's
of course,
Tired workforce.
I'm bringing my own K-Cups and creamer.
Oh,
And I really don't have to go into the office a whole lot. I only have to go in about 1 to 2 days a week. So I brought a giant jug of my sweet cream creamer because it's 5 years later from the first creamer thief, but I'm still on my sweet cream. And once again, I'm noticing it's very light. And considering I only go in 1 to 2 days a week, and I probably only drink 1 cup while there because I drink one on the way in. I'm like,
Why'd you whisper as if that's a
Oh,
problem?
I know,
Shame,
right? I
shame
know.
you for coffee consumption. We're your people.
I don't feel like I need more than 2, if you know what I mean. Y'all know me, I'm hyper.
you're good.
Yeah.
So I noticed once again, it's very, very light. And I happen to be talking to a leader in the company, and I'm telling him this because I also had a white noise machine on the handle of my door of my office so that when I was having private conversations, I could turn on the white noise machine.
Oh my
and
God.
it went missing.
Like a babe.
I know, like you're putting a baby to sleep. I've never heard of that as a way
actually,
to like break up the.
all of us had a white noise machine.
Oh my gosh, that's
because
clever.
There's like therapists and
No,
whatnot
I
in
get
the same
it.
hallway.
I get it.
so-
I never thought about
That's
using
why
that for that.
That's why we did
I
it.
would
So
get.
like,
You get used.
It would
you
just
get
put me
used
to
it.
sleep because
Yeah,
that's what
you
I
get
use to
used
go to
it.
sleep.
It's not that bad. It's
I
just
can't
like
use it
the
to go. I can't
shushing.
use it to go to sleep. I
Really?
can't use it. No,
I have 2 going.
No, I've done
It's like
girls.
I'm in a
no.
wind tunnel.
I've done girls trips with other friends, not you, who have. That was not. It's
Do you
aggressive.
I know,
bring
not,
it
not
traveling?
you. She points at me.
Not
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Not you. But I have friends, and I'm all
So we could
fighting
never
good.
share a room.
No,
See?
and
That's
at
good.
night, and all of a sudden, all's fine and good, and I brush my teeth, and I hear the sound, and I'm, thank you, and I'm like, what's that? And they're like, oh, I got to sleep with my white noise machine.
Oh, bitch! No, you don't.
like-
You're like,
And I can't, and I'm up, and I don't know what to do at that point. And,
damn.
anyway, sorry.
she derailed your creamer.
Sorry.
No, but it is
So
Not you.
clever.
the company provided me with a white noise machine. It was taken from my door. I purchased mine, not with my own money. Hold on.
Okay,
With
good.
my company card,
Okay.
I purchased another one.
Like a hanging one?
Yeah, it hangs
Yeah.
off my doorknob.
Yeah.
It's very
Look this
cool.
up. I'm curious.
It's they're on
Yeah, it's a
Amazon.
thing.
They're
It's
on
a thing.
Amazon. They're
Yeah, it's a
$16, and they're rechargeable. So you just plug
And
it
I'm
in.
just trying to visualize this.
Yeah.
It's
Probably
like
a circle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's really cute. Anyway, it also
He's showing you
disappeared.
what a circle looks
so
like.
finally,
Yeah, it's a circle. I put my hands together. It's a circle.
Oh my god, these are so cute.
at this point, I was like, well, fuck it.
Wow.
I have now purchased 2 of these freaking
Oh,
things. So
man.
I'm going to purchase
So
my own.
irritated.
So I purchased my own white noise machine, and it too got stolen. So I'm telling this leader in the company, look, this is now the 3rd white noise machine that has disappeared off my fucking door. And I'm pissed at this point because the last one I purchased with my own money, and on the very back in a hidden spot, I wrote my initials because I was like, I'm going
You
to
should have
fucking
put an
find
air
it.
tag on it.
Oh.
I still don't know who had
Or a
who
ring.
took
You
any
need a
of
ring
them.
cam purchase. Is
I
what
know,
you need.
right?
Oh, okay,
I
for
still
real.
don't
And then
know.
they steal
And
that.
I think people think
Oh, damn.
Put the hand in front.
For real.
I think people think, well, she's not here all the time. I'll just borrow it, but then they never put it back.
That's probably.
Oh, that's sweet of you to think.
I'm assuming good intentions. So I'm venting to him how frustrated I am. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And then I said, and it's with my coffee creamer. I said, the shit's half gone. I just brought that fucker in. I was like, and I'm like getting fired up because I'm like, I can't even come into the office and enjoy a cup of
Oh, I
coffee because
know.
my creamer's gone. And he goes, oh, well, that's been me. And I said, what? He said, oh, I'm the one that's been using your creamer. He's like, I figured you wouldn't mind.
Well, I do mine, and you owe me $7.
And I was like, okay. I'm like, well, it isn't a huge deal, but like
Yeah.
boundaries, motherfucker. So then,
But did you feel
No,
because
what
he's
did
a
you
leader? Did
say?
you feel like you needed to like downplay it, or were you kind
no,
of like?
I was like, well, cool. You can bring it next time, is what I said to him.
Jamie.
Well,
No.
I know.
No.
I should have been a bigger bitch, but
Yes.
I was thinking
I've been like,
cool,
no, it
you
is
bring it
actually a
next
big
time.
deal. I mean,
Venmo.
He
really,
was
you
like,
stole
it's
my
really
property.
good.
Put out your Venmo.
I'm like, I know it's really good, you jackass. Anyway, so then the very next day, I'm working from home. He sends me a fucking video of him using my creamer.
Like he
I
thinks it's
shit you not.
like an inside
I will
joke.
save it and post it on our Instagram.
Do you want me to kill
stories.
him?
Like,
I'm not
I
even
was
kidding.
like-
is
Is this guy kidding me?
No.
was he laughing or was it silent?
because
Like,
so you were
I think
sweet.
I think he goes, nice.
You were sweet as cream then. When he was like, oh, is that a problem? Well,
Yeah.
no, bring the next one. And now look at this. Look
Now
how
he
he's
thinks
going to
you're
rub your
buddies.
shit in your face.
Yeah, he just run all over me.
Wow.
Then you're going to get a video of him with your noise machines, all three of them dangled all around his neck like,
Like-
pearls
like-
while he's chugging your creamer. That's the next video you're going to get.
like
I'm like, this is what happens
like
when
Flava
you're too
Flav with the
fucking
clock,
nice.
Too
clock on
the
the
clock,
finger,
but
the
they're
clock.
noise machines,
I
you know?
but so the Jamie I know, I don't think I know you as well because unless you're about to tell us that you took a video of yourself slashing his tires, then I don't know you as well as I thought I did a few minutes ago.
No, like I said, I ride or die for my friends. I don't
Mhm.
ride or
All
die
right, we're gonna
Yeah.
Lee,
for myself.
you and me. We got
Yeah.
evidence right here.
Like, now,
Oh,
if you
damn.
told me he stole one of your creamers, I would show up
Yeah.
into his house in the
we'll
middle
go.
of the
We'll
night.
go get him.
See, this like I'm kind of having epiphany and my mind is fucked at the same time because you two are so crazy online. Like
Yeah.
you're very street justice online. Yeah, that's what I mean. But you're yes faces and the exact opposite in person. Whereas me, I don't give a fuck online. You know,
don't
like
care. You
I
block,
at
you
all.
move on, yeah.
But I am street as fuck in person.
Yeah, that's a good.
I mean, it is like you
That's
see this like a
true.
piece of like this is
seeing,
so
I'm seeing
man.
exactly what
Maybe
you're
why
saying.
we vibe so well.
Oh, I guess it's
We're
all
all
about
straight as
balance.
fuck.
You know what I mean? Because I'm like
in different
angry
ways.
listening to this creamer story.
So
That would
so
never
you are
have
in real
happened.
life going to slash the tires. I will post
No,
a video
I-
online of it, and then they will have to listen to this podcast in court as evidence.
Oh
and
yeah,
that's fine.
yeah. But I don't slash tires. I would tell that motherfucker to his face. I do that. That does piss me off. That is my creamer, and I consider that theft. No one ever has to guess where they stand with me. Like fuck you. I don't
Yeah.
do the pleasantry bullshit like that very well. I'm nice. I'm kind. I'm respectful and
Yeah.
shit. But if
Oh,
something pisses
I
me
mean,
off,
I
I'm gonna
would-
be like, actually, you've really pissed me off.
Yeah.
I brought that creamer on purpose because I like it. It's
Have
mine.
my name on the top. Jamie Jackson.
Yeah, it's not community creamer.
Mhm.
It's not community. That's what I say. Well, bitch, it ain't community creamer, is it? You know,
That's
like you
good.
can roll
Yeah.
in a little sugar, you know, but come
That's
on,
a good.
man.
That's a good intro story, Jamie.
Boundaries.
Fucking sends
Oh,
me
I'm
a
so
video
mad.
using it.
Ah,
I'll
I can't
show
wait
y'all
to
it.
Audacious.
That video that's going
Audacious.
on our Insta.
Yeah.
HR Besties
Audacious.
Pod on Insta.
I mean, this was like a month ago. This wasn't that long ago.
What else?
Yeah.
What else is he stealing?
Lord only knows.
You're
Oh.
gonna. I guarantee you, he's got those
Investigation.
white noise.
I mean, he's sending you evidence. That's crazy.
Or
That's
dumbasses.
crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Well,
He thinks you're friends.
We're not.
Okay. Now you're not.
ooh, well, okay. Well, we got to get off this because I'm about to go cut some tires.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh man, Jamie, I'm so pissed off. Now I'm gonna like send you some creamer.
Yeah.
Shipped you some creamer to the house or something. Holy shit. Oh my God. All right. Well, thanks for joining our meeting today. I'd like to do just a quick run through of the agenda. We are going to do some cringe corporate speak, and I am going to provide today's crazy cringe ick line there. And then we are going to transition into our hot topic, which is all about work travel. Everything about the work travel, spending the time away, the TNL, like anything and everything work travels, right? And then per usual, we will have some questions and comments before we close with that hard stop.
Sounds like a good agenda.
It does, right?
It's what we use every time, but I
It
like it.
does.
It makes me feel good, comfortable.
Yeah, it's like
And
a little weighted blanket.
You always know where you stand with us.
Mm-hmm.
So
Fuck yeah. Well, me and you at
Yeah,
least. I don't know
not
about
us.
Jamie at the office creamer. Gee whiz. I'm so pissed. Okay, all right. Cringe corporate speak today. The phrase that I would like to bring forward is the phrase, let's bang it out.
Oh,
I know, right? Take me out to dinner first before we do that. You know what I'm saying?
Buy me
gotta
some
wine and dine this ass,
buy me a
okay?
big ass bottle of creamer with a bow on it, and then we'll do what we may with
Turn
it.
those noise machines on.
not with this leader.
Well, let's bang it out.
Well, that reminds me of the Bang Bus.
What's that?
I knew she would.
Oh, you said me.
Google.
I don't know
Google
Bang
my
Bus.
girl.
Oh, you don't
know
either.
what the Bang Bus
Oh,
is either?
dear.
I don't know what the Bang Bus is. That's a sentence I didn't think I would say in
my
a corporate
gosh.
meeting.
She's
Ashley's
live
Googling
action, action
Yeah.
Googling.
Just like Fleshlight.
Is it just a porn channel? What? I think all this. One of the Google results is Bang Bros. A long time ago in a Bang Bus, far, far away.
Yeah.
And the away part of that, I don't want to
They
see
used to bang in a bus.
who.
The Bang Bros.
Well, on here it gives some. Assume they're not their real names. What? Did you watch this? Okay, I won't make you answer that. Lee and I clearly didn't.
Yeah, no, I don't feel this is mainstream, this one.
No,
I think the Fleshlight is. I don't think Bang, come on, Bang Bus is a thing. Please don't DM me.
Yeah,
If
I think
I
it's-
get enough stuff, but I
got
don't.
real quiet when I was like, "Have you watched that?" Like,
I know. Okay,
mean, how would I know
Oh,
about it?
I
no,
know.
I
Oh
did
my
not know what
gosh!
the Bang
all right.
Bus says. I'm good. But I can see leaders saying that, like, let's put this on the Bang Bus, and like
Do they say that?
well, no, I can
Oh,
see
okay.
that.
I was like,
I've
wait,
not
who,
heard that.
what?
I have
No, but I will now.
I have heard. Let's
Let's bang it
bang it
out.
out, and
Let's
then I've
bang it
had
out.
other females come that are like, "Is that appropriate?" I'm like, "It's not appropriate."
no,
and
it's
so
not
we'll,
appropriate.
It doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
No.
Unless he's hot, but whatever.
bang it out. And you're like,
Yeah, but that one is one of those kind of ick.
yeah.
Right? I mean, that is like the
I
definition
don't
of
want to think
cringe
about
there.
banging anything at work.
Yeah,
Well,
let's
just
just bang
a
it out.
jarring, like,
Yeah, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
let's get.
Let's just work on it.
Yeah, but yes.
Let's knock it out, maybe.
Very recently, I went to my father's retirement party, and he retired after he started work at PNC Bank 45 years ago.
Oh, shout
and
out.
He had started literally in the mailroom working nights, basically check room working nights. But anyway, they were like, let's finish it off by saying, let's get to work. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, he always ended his meetings and he said, let's get to work. And I was very delighted that my dad's retirement party, nobody said he finished things by saying,
Oh
like,
my god.
"Hey, let's bang it out."
Yeah.
So
Thank
the point is, so
goodness.
from Papa manager method, you then let's get to work is a perfectly accessible
Yes.
that will end you not in HR's office. Just say let's
Yeah.
get to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had to counsel anybody on that though.
I have.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't, but I've definitely heard it, and I'm
Yeah,
like, no,
yeah.
hard stop.
Like,
Yeah.
but I feel like sometimes HR you just have that visceral. I mean, how many times in
Exactly.
your career have you heard things and you're
Oh
just like,
yeah, it's too
Yeah,
many.
like piggybacking, where it's like you just
Yeah.
visualize, you
Yeah.
know, somebody on top of Steve, just piggybacking Steve, you know, and it's
Steve.
not. Yeah, I know. Well, Steve
Brenda
is a
in
dick,
accounting.
but yeah. I mean, you know, and it just kind of gives you that visual there,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know. People love to like infuse just a little razzle dazzle sex in the workplace, don't
Yeah.
they?
Like, how
There
did
are
they
some,
first
you
get
know
in
what
the-
I
yeah,
mean.
it
You
is.
know,
It's
some
like
people
get
just
the
kind of.
attention. I'm like, let's
Or in
not.
a podcast in my.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, well, we're shining a light to it. You know,
That's we're talking about
we're
it.
talking about
We're
it.
talking
Totally
about it, so
Say
that's
that.
fine.
Totally
Say
different.
this, not
Oh,
that.
yes,
Please,
yes.
not
Do
that.
as do as we say, not as we do. Yeah. And so to that point, our hot topic for the day is work travel. Doing the work travel, being on the work travel, being affected by the work travel, saving those receipts for the work travel, getting fights on work travel. I mean, whatever the case may be.
Oh.
All things work travel.
Have you had to travel a lot for work?
I have. I mean, I've been somewhat fortunate that I most of my jobs I've had to travel here and there, but it's not been very frequent per se.
Yeah, no, I've had to
Yeah.
travel a lot.
Lee's had to travel
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
in her roles.
which I enjoy, you know, because I'm just a slut for culture and
Yeah.
points, you know. So
Wait,
I like
learned the
being
word
out
of that. I
there.
just saw that today. What's it like? Hobophiliac?
Oh.
Hodophilia? I think it's hodophilia. The love of travel. Like,
Oh, really?
Hodophilia, let's say. I think it's hodophilia.
And then watch, that's really something really bad.
Yeah.
I know now she's
Like
gonna reach for her
fucking a
phone.
tree or
I know
something.
because people are gonna go use that in the
Fucking on a
workplace.
bus.
I'm a hodophiliac, you
I
know.
heard it on HR Bestie. Oh my god. Yeah, hodophile. The hodophile.
Okay.
Hopefully it's
Okay.
not pronounced hodophile. Hodophile or hodophile. I don't know which one that is.
A travel lover.
Yeah, it's someone who likes to travel.
Yeah.
I literally just saw that for the first time. Today.
Yeah. I'd say it's easy for me to travel in the sense that, you know, I'm a introverted only child. So like, I don't mind being on I think my longest was an 18-hour flight. You know what I mean? So to me, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, ooh, time for myself.
Yeah.
More time for myself. Oh my gosh, this is great. Like, let me just be in my crazy mind about it. But what does piss me off about the travel is sometimes the lack of recognition from managers or people above that perhaps they're traveling less now in their careers, or they can flat out choose not to travel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, those types. But they forget about the exhaustion from travel, the length of time of travel, and they don't, I'm pointing at my mind, they don't count that as work time.
Yeah.
That really pisses me off, especially when you could have 2 full days more plus in the week
plus
of
the
just the
travel.
travel time.
Yeah, especially if you're flying internationally. My God. Like, and just adjusting to the time changes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so much more than, oh, you were so-and-so in Bangkok for 5 days. Like, I might have been there for 5 days, but
Oh my God. I'm awful with like time changes. And so
yeah.
I mean, when we lived in Sydney, I used to have to come back and forth to the US, and I was like coach because I was there for like a lot of organizations at that point would have an upgrade to premium economy or business class. That was not happening. So I would like coach back and forth to come, and I would be so wrecked or like I remember like flying other times internationally, and like I didn't bring like any type of like sleep aid or things like that, and I'd be up all night on the flight. Also, I get excited about watching movies, and so I'd be like
movie time.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, Bridesmaids, like Devil Wears Prada, my go-to. But like part of it with work travel, especially is one, the expectation of it, and sometimes people, it's like, in the interview process, like you really got to talk about like what the expectation is on that. Because like we recently had talked about, people like traveling your first week of work, or like having those expectations and what that's like, because sometimes it can be really hard. It can be really hard, expensive, especially if people have things like from an exhaustion standpoint, or you have kids, pets, like all of the logistics of that,
right.
that a lot of people in leadership roles don't always have. And when you don't understand what that's like, your employees frequently feel like they can't talk about that, and they just have to, flurry around, make it all work, Mary Poppins that shit up, and then show up, happy as a clam to their work travel. When it's a real stressor.
It is a real stressor.
You know, I had a boss once say to me, because I really was against traveling when my boys were younger. I didn't want to be away from them when they were younger. Now that they're older, it's not, so much an issue. But I had a boss say to me, like, I don't want to encourage you to go on these trips because I know you don't want to. And she's like, I'm always in my head almost discounting you because I know that you don't want to go on these trips. And I'm like, don't speak for me. At least ask.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Because there's not necessarily, granted, I'm lucky enough that I do have a support system, close to me. But some people aren't as lucky if they have, they're an only parent, or, I have a shit ton of animals too. Like who are going to watch my animals? And like, there's just so much more to it than me just hopping on a flight and, going to London or something for business.
Yeah. What's really interesting is you were talking about the job description, right? Like you just kind of mentioned something about the job description. But, I saw research or heard of research somewhere where it's like, hey, you really want to be as accurate as possible about how much percentage of travel is actually required, because it can discount and really bias so many different populations, like females, for example.
Yeah.
You put, 50% travel when really it's 15.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
people
nowadays.
Are like 50, like how I'm not even applying.
Yeah, they're not even going to apply.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, it's a real important thing to get as accurate as possible there, so you don't discount, certain populations.
Well, in aside from like all the aspects of work travel generally, but please can we talk about travel policies?
Oh my God.
Like I talk really about my girls' trip where I'm sharing a room with my girlfriends. Like, okay, fair enough. I might do that if we're going somewhere and I'm trying to be mindful of my Airbnb, things like that. Let me tell you, people do not do sharing a room ever.
Yeah.
If you can't afford to have
Yeah.
people have their own space, their own room and their own bathroom,
Yeah.
like their own hotel room, just dedicated hotel room. Please do not send them. Please do not send them on work.
So many
travel.
businesses do that,
They-
or
oh
like
my God.
schools, like
Yeah.
education
Yes.
does
Yeah.
that. They, buddy up the teachers,
It
or whatever. I mean,
blows
it,
my
to me,
mind.
that
like
is
from an
rude.
HR standpoint, I'm like, oh my god, no!
I
Weird.
know.
It's
It's
weird. I mean,
rude.
let's
It's
talk about
gross.
the
So,
noise.
it's-
Like one of my girlfriends went on an incentive trip with work, a lot, like like a reward having brought significant revenue to the company. They made them buddy up on this very nice trip in rooms, and she's like, literally, I was like,
fucking
she's like,
cheap
and she
asses.
was like, I have my own. Like everybody has their own habits. Their
Oh,
habits.
yeah, of
And
course.
everyone has their own like.
She's like, I was
quirks and-
so stressed. She's like, I almost like canceled at the last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I remember being asked by that once on like a work travel thing, and again,
Oh
for a
my
very large
gosh.
organization, and they're like, we had rooms, and this assistant had emailed like 7 of us. I have no idea. They were, I can't remember if we were all female, but there it was like. We were short on rooms. So we're going to ask, please have volunteers to double up. Otherwise, we may have to assign people. And I remember I called an old boss of mine. I was like, the fuck is this shit? Like, what do you say? And she was like my mentor.
gosh.
And she's like,
What did she say?
fuck that. She was like, no. I was like, I want to write. And she was like, I'm not comfortable with that. And I did. I said, I'm not comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I'm not
inappropriate.
comfortable with that.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Double
gosh,
up.
that's bizarre.
Whoopsie daisy.
Ooh.
No, thank you.
Double up.
Whoopsies.
Oh.
Otherwise, you're going to get volunteers or else you're going to like an airline.
yeah.
No, thank you.
Oh
Oh,
my god.
my God.
Oh my God,
Like-
it's my nightmare.
Like
Oh.
now, will I share a room with my work bestie when we planned our own trip together?
I cuddled it. I got
Yes.
in bed with you this morning. We were talking. Like,
yeah, like
It was
it's a
you.
little
Well, that's
different.
different.
but at nighttime, I need to have my own room,
Yeah.
my own.
Yeah.
But yeah, but like that's our fun time that we planned, and we're, but no, not for work. Absolutely not.
No, I couldn't do that.
Yeah,
Obviously, that is not for me. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I would, and expenses, like corporate cards,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
like people making people advance payments.
Yeah,
Oh gosh.
Like
is
I
that
think
tacky.
I'm personally a fan. I'm curious about y'all. I'm a fan of having an option for corporate card because like I know people in particular like only have a debit card for whatever reason. They only have a debit card. They do not have a credit card, and then only having a debit card can make it more challenging to book things like the hotel or all that stuff. And so have a corporate card as an option or book it directly for someone. Sometimes people want though the points for themselves
Yep.
personally. And so I'm also a fan of like, okay, again, to like all the stress that travel can lead.
Oh,
Give
yeah.
people some of those choices.
a little perk.
Yeah, what do you think?
That's really what it is. That's what I think it is. Let people keep the points.
Yeah.
I
why
mean,
not? You're already forcing them to
Yeah.
go to Iowa.
I know, right? Oh gosh, shout out Iowa.
Glad you didn't say-
Hampton
glad you didn't
Shout
say-
out
I'm
to
gonna
I
say
was in Iowa.
Kentucky.
Oh no,
I like Iowa though.
no, I'm just saying
No, I've never been.
like a really benign place.
Caitlin
Yeah.
like
Like
with-
not Paris.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
I mean,
right,
you know
right,
what I
right,
mean?
right,
Yeah,
right,
like-
right.
Not New York City or
I saw
something.
a TikTok of a girl entering her St. Louis, Missouri hotel room, and she's like walking in,
I
and
saw
it's like miracles happen once, and then she opens the curtains, and it's all just like highway.
yeah,
Like,
That's
yeah.
funny.
You know,
Right,
it's
right.
not.
That's
it
because
can-
that's exactly the room you get put into.
Well,
on
yeah,
travel,
of course,
especially when you're all
of
excited
course.
about
Like-
it. Then you're like,
Yeah,
sad
it's like
face.
you're in the Hampton Inn and St. Louis, Missouri, with a
Totally.
view of the highway.
Oh my
you know?
God,
you're so right.
Yeah.
It's like it's not as glamorous as I think I thought it was.
No.
Yeah, but I'll
Work
tell you, the TNL and the travel policies
Oh,
have always
What's
been
T&L stand for? What's the L? I'm
travel and
TNE.
leisure.
Oh, travel. What's the leisure?
I don't know.
Okay, I was gonna say. I know
Yeah, what the
TNE,
fuck are we
that's
It's just
leisuring
some
on?
old
No, that sounds fun.
acronym,
Okay,
that
got
a
it,
lot of
okay,
people
got it.
use.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Hell if I know. I didn't invent it.
Was that Travel and Leisure
Yeah,
magazine?
yeah.
Yeah, I like that magazine.
But TNL policies or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But what I have experienced in my career is that paying attention to those things, taking feedback, especially from your sales team, shout
Yeah.
out sales
Yeah.
team, making changes each year,
Yeah.
like doing some lovin's
Yes.
there,
Yeah.
updating that mileage. I mean,
Yes.
all of those things
Yes,
make
that's a
the
good one,
biggest
updating, yeah.
difference. It's like having an ice machine at work or free coffee. I mean, it's one of those like
Right.
things where people are like, oh, like,
Right.
oh my gosh, like, thank you so much,
Right.
you know,
Yeah,
especially for
upping
those road warriors.
The daily limit, though, even like especially now with
Yeah.
the
Oh my
price
God.
of everything. everything
Yes,
like, oh, it
yes.
was
Being in
$50
tune
a
to
day.
that, you
now
know?
it's
Yeah.
$70
Yeah.
a day. Like that's a huge
Right.
difference. And so
Making those adjustments
And
matters.
I've been lucky and fortunate enough that in the companies that I've worked with in the last, like, I don't know, maybe 10 years, I've been worked very closely with finance. And so I'm like, hey, here's the feedback that I've received.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? That's actually a really fair point. I'm going to run it up the chain. We'll get approval and we'll update the policy. And so, but it's truly listening to those that are traveling, because I might not be as much as, like, for instance, the sales team
Mhm.
that are those road warriors. And so just truly listening to their feedback and what is working and what isn't working
Yeah, incorporating it.
for your peoples.
That's one of those like quick, easy wins from an HR
Yeah,
perspective.
Well,
Totally.
I posted a video on this recently that when I was 23 and I was, I did a good job stalking CFOs and scheduling appointments. So I got promoted to travel around and meet with heads of HR across US and Canada. And in my schedule, be like, I'd literally be like Jackson, Mississippi on Monday, Toronto on Tuesday, blah, blah, blah. But so I had my territory, which was near where my parents lived in Louisville, Kentucky. And this was a time my mom had leukemia. And so she was, so she was in the hospital. And so I would come and visit her. And my company had a policy that if you were traveling and instead of staying at a hotel, you stayed with friends or family, then in addition to your daily limit, you could spend up to like $100 extra on a meal for that person that was hosting you and expense it.
Oh, that's nice.
And so I remember,
I've never heard anything like that.
It was
I love
amazing. It was great. And it's literally saved money because
Yeah.
I stayed at my parents' house. And so I had, been with my mom, left and went to Rafferty's, shout out to Rafferty's in Louisville, Kentucky. And I said, like, I, again, didn't eat out a ton growing up. And so meals were eating out is like, I have very core memories of
Yes.
that. And so the pleasure of like asking my dad, what do you want? Oh, the cowboy sirloin. Like, oh, getting this.
Yeah.
And
Getting
later, as my
something
mom
fancy, yeah.
came out of the hospital and was home, the same policy. Like, I would go to Rafferty's, pick it up, sign for it with my car, and come
Yeah.
home and deliver it. And like, it brought me such a sense of like pride in my
Yeah.
rental car with my big old Hertz Never Lost like remote control thing on it. But like, my parents, like, it was so amazing, and my parents were so proud of me for having this,
Well, yeah, this
corporate-
big girl job.
Yeah, like, but it
she
was-
can
I know,
expend
yeah.
But it was like,
dinner.
but so a policy like that. So when I posted, multiple people were like, oh, I've never heard anything
I
like that.
haven't either. That's
I'm gonna explore.
amazing.
They're like, do you have the policy language? I'm like, no, I don't have the
No,
handbook.
not
from-
anymore.
From
Google it,
2004. But
people.
yeah, ChatGPT can provide that to you
Yeah,
very readily,
yeah.
I'm sure. But things like that, especially that literally you'll end up saving money. And some
Yeah.
people will, and the issue is there are leaders that would never conceptualize, or they might even scoff and make fun of that store.
Oh, yeah.
Rafferty's, why aren't you, whatever. Like,
Rafferty's was really
I
good.
love Rafferty's. But
Are they still around?
I'm not
Side
sure.
note, I don't think so.
The one I used to go to is not now. It's something else. But the level of pride, there is a huge level of pride that the huge population at work has that senior leaders may not understand. And so I think just thinking about in some of those policies.
Mm-hmm. I think, one of the frustrating things about the travel, of course, is after the travel, what happens. And all of these different policies on receipts, like any receipt over $5. Are you kidding? You can't trust your employee's
Yeah.
judgment only to $5. See,
Yeah.
that's a reflection of trust and respect, my opinion. Right. I mean, come on, right?
Speaks volumes of the company culture.
It sure does,
Right.
So all of these kind of, the rules around the expenses and what
Right.
you have to prove and whatever. And yeah, some things are tax and blah, blah, blah,
there's
things you
other-
have to show. But
there's other things also.
you don't
like,
have to get
like a
so
tr-
command control on that.
Like, I know, I was talking to someone recently and they were talking about this and they're like, oh, I lost the receipt. It was for $18. I had to get an affidavit signed.
Oh,
that means you
my
have to get it notarized. And he's like, I have to go. And he's like, I had to find a notary.
Oh my God.
Are you serious?
Totally. And I was like, that is so ridiculous. And it's entirely possible some tax person can say, oh, there's for the company, you have to have
Come
an affidavit.
on.
Yeah.
I don't know
Come
about that,
on.
but I completely agree. And the delay in paying expenses.
Yeah.
I've been in that situation
yeah.
where and the problem is
Yeah.
when people have
60
expenses,
days later.
they're not being reimbursed.
Yeah.
And then people
Uh-huh.
are like gaslit when they ask about expenses, and then they're like, oh, well, you keep asking about this reimbursement because I'm floating the company.
Yeah.
I think that is That's really inappropriate on those levels, those delays.
You really should make it as easy as possible for your people to represent you with your customers.
Yeah.
That's what you want, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and with your teams, wherever they may be.
And concise policy.
Come on.
That is open to flexibility too, though. And feedback from your people.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big part of the employee experience for a lot of employees, you know?
And I'm not a big person on we talk about seniority or acting like anybody else is better than anybody at work. But I have seen policies that will say, if you're on a big group dinner, have the senior most person expense that. And I think that's appropriate.
Yes.
Also for that, thinking about that the wait staff and that's working, make their life easier as well. And your internal expense team, they don't need 6 expense reports.
Yeah.
So do that, make it super
They have the
easy for
biggest
that
limit.
person. But also sometimes you see limits like don't tip over 15% or don't tip over, tip that. And people, and I know people that are like, I'm like,
I'm a 20% girl.
Yeah.
it's just like,
I just break that rule. I have.
Thinking about
fire me.
Yeah.
Because I'm a nicer tipper, whatever.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
You know?
But for real though. But also I've seen the extreme opposite from leadership, from those execs.
No.
I worked at a place.
Yeah, but that's okay if you're at that dinner.
No, hold on though. I wasn't talking about a dinner. I'm
Strip
talking
club.
about this man. No.
Okay.
No. This man took a PJ.
Happens. He took a what?
PJ, a private jet.
Oh, I heard something.
I
took
did
a
too.
PJ.
Alrighty.
Places
Dang.
And so he was,
Living
because
high
he
on
was
the
the
hog.
CEO, he could take a PJ and expense it. But God forbid, I have my 89 cents Buc-ee's soda that isn't $1. You know what I'm like?
32 ounces. You can't beat that.
And the worst part is everyone's aware of the PJ.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Have you ever been on a
Fuck no.
Have you?
No.
No, same. One of my friends was
We need
recently,
to.
and she was texting us, and she's like, "Is it so corny if I take a picture?"
No,
and we're like, "No,
absolutely.
dude."
Everybody
She's
else
like,
does and puts it online.
Right,
Come on.
right.
No.
But she took it. She's like, "Oh my god, of course this guy turned around right as I was trying to do it," and I was laughing. I'm like,
He knows.
Of course you have.
Yeah. She should have asked him to take it.
Exactly. I was
That's part of his
should have
job.
offered to take
That's
it
part of
like
his
that.
job as a private jet person.
No, but it's also the standards too, right? That you have to hold every employee to the policy standards.
Yeah.
You should, Mr. CEO should not be getting the PJ, and then me sitting in Spirit Airlines flight to wherever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Lucky to get on the plane.
I know, right? Lucky they didn't make you just walk there.
Sorry, canceled.
Oh, damn. Who doesn't love some work travel and all the drama?
Oh my
See, we
gosh.
also need an episode just the drama that happens on work travel because I got a lot of those. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, word, yes.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of different things people get into. You know what I mean? Had a lot of those write-ups before, you know? Woo.
yeah.
People being bad.
Yeah.
When the cat's away, the mice start playing and all of that.
But it still gets back to us.
I know, and it is endlessly entertaining. So we appreciate you all being people. On that note, should we transition into some questions and comments?
Yeah.
Yeah, we good with that? Any questions or comments before we close this meeting?
What was a memorable, good memorable work trip that you had?
I typically really do enjoy my work trips. I pretty much always have, so, but my favorite part of a work trip is when the host, right, wherever we're going or I'm going, they want to show off the town, or they want to show off, a certain delicacy or meal or whatever. I love just the downtime of a long dinner. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
So I always enjoy that, like this, getting to know people genuinely, like over wine and just, just chatting, just talking. I love that, very genuinely love that. That's my bag. I love kind of, if I can, interweaving some sort of team event or, something to where we can go out or I can go out, if I'm visiting, because I like to really, I'd love to see the neighborhood of where a facility is. I like to see how people are living. I like to get like all the context. I want to understand the politics or the education. I get all cerebral, of course, but I want to really get it, right? So I can just make better decisions from where I sit, to support that site and that team. So anytime I can get out and be able to do that, I freaking love that. You know?
I think for me in my 30s and now 40, I just enjoy like any trip that I can end the night with room service watching my shows without
you like the
interruptions of
decompression.
children's.
Yeah, it's
I like
a
having
long
that.
time.
Yeah, because I don't really, and I love my children,
Of course.
but just like watching your shows and eating a fat, expensive burger, room service burger,
$50 burger.
But in my 20s, one of my most memorable trips is I was meeting with Blue Cross Blue Shield in Chattanooga. That's where they're based out of. And we were hoping to, it was actually when I was with Tractor Supply. So I was I've been promoted. And so I was going down there to hope for a
Humble
broker.
brag.
What?
Humble brag. Did you say promoted?
A lot. I was promoted a lot. But I was able to go down there with our head of benefits to broker a deal to hopefully sign them as our premier healthcare provider. And my best friend lived there. So I, just like being able to be in her city with her and like still do big girl job stuff. I mean, this is my 20s,
Oh yeah, that's a big
But that
deal.
was my most memorable because I don't know. It's just like having your best friend and then like being on a business trip.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. What about you?
I did a few trips to Vegas with a prior job, including when I was in Australia. I came and flew to Vegas, or we'd have these annual meetings there. And to that point, like my group of work best friends there still is my text group is Squad. And so we got there early and did like the Vanderpump Rules, the Caesar and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But we would have at night, we would do like, some fun activities. And I remember our last
Love
night, we
that.
got like a stretch limo, and like I love a good playlist, and so we were playing Lizzo on the plane, like with a huge thing of like 25 of us, and we're like all laughing. I'm in arms doing a somersault from the from the things, and we're like somehow I was wearing a jumpsuit, like this black jumpsuit, and somehow I think I'd gone to the bathroom, my zipper broke in the bathroom, and so the night's got to keep going, and so I got like some like pins, like we got pins. My CFO's helping me, female. We're like she's pinning me up. We're keeping
Oh, my
going. It was
gosh.
so much.
You got to
fun.
bang it out.
No, did not have to. But I did. The problem
Well,
with
you
that
were on a
is
bus.
I get very unrealistic about my level of to wake up early in the morning for work trip, and so I twice on those trips missed my flights the next morning.
Oh my gosh.
The first
Well, it's
time,
Vegas.
the first time was bad enough, but I was literally going back to Australia, and that was a bigger problem. The second time when it
shit.
happened, it was like Home Alone 2. Like, how the fuck they lose Kevin twice? Like, how did I miss my
Right.
flight in Vegas twice? My husband was calling. They're like, your husband's on the phone. I'm like, oh my god. He's like, I see you on your Find My Find My phone is not at the airport. You're still in your hotel.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I'm not great when I stay out late and try to
Oh,
wake up an hour
dang.
later. I slept right through my alarm. So
You see, you're not supposed to sleep in Vegas is a thing.
I
You
know.
should have
Yeah.
stayed
I'm
up and then just
tired.
gone to the airport.
I get
No,
tired. But
know,
I
know.
have those like to this day we will like
Oh, I know.
and like
Yeah.
dancing and all that, and it was a good time.
It stays with you,
Of
right?
course, it's
Oh,
still and
gosh.
those people
Fun,
like
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still friendly with so many of those people who
Yeah.
probably laugh.
It's
At those
big
stories.
time
I probably
joy.
have some more embarrassing stories from those, but
Oh,
it's all right.
I love staying up late with people I like
Yeah.
and just
Yeah, it
talking,
was
like,
a good-
having a good time.
Yeah.
Love. Not a comment, but quick question. What one piece of advice would you give a work traveler? Just like a short and sweet piece of advice, just from your own experience.
As someone who has had to, I mean, this was for CMEs, which is continuing medical education. I've obviously been in healthcare, and nurse practitioners and above could expense trips where they were getting credit for certain conference and CEUs. And so that has to do with work travel, and the amount of people that tried to expense things. I mean, granted, this was their allotment for the year, but There's some wild shit I saw on receipts.
Yeah.
Some wild ass shit that you're sending to HR to get your
It's a good
CME allotment.
That's a fair. I think
What do
it's
you got?
to get a flavor of where you're going to the extent that you're comfortable. I've been in situations as a female traveling alone.
Yeah.
There's a lot of safety
Yeah.
considerations, and a lot of people in different populations have to talk about safety at work. So I think that's actually a really important one to be aware of. Giving people the budget, they can stay in safe hotels. Also, if they don't feel
Yes.
safe, the ride share, like all those types
Yeah.
of things. But to the extent that you're comfortable, just getting a quick flavor of where you are.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I like that. For me, if you are traveling on business, I really do feel as though you should honor and respect the site that you are traveling to, and you should clear as much as you can. Some of you know you can do it 100%. You should clear your calendar from your recurrings and what you
Yep.
typically do.
Yep.
It is so fucking rude for you to go into someone else's office probably or the huddle space and just continue with your fucking
Right.
work day. That is so disrespectful. You just spent all of your time flying there or driving there or whatever. You should give that site, that team, those people your time. I hate that.
Yeah, and organizations need to support employees in doing that.
Yes.
As well, like managers need to make sure make sure people know too, because oftentimes people don't know and they feel like they have to do their same workload, and so explaining why that's important to your team. And at nighttime, that doesn't mean you have to then do all the rest of the work. But I totally agree.
Oh
Give
my
people
God, it's
your-
so,
Yeah,
those
I agree.
previous bosses I've had, that's all they do. they
then
just
they're on
hole
con-
up, and colleagues too. And it's, to me, it's
or
pathetic.
you're on one-on-one, and then on
It's rude.
then on the receiving end, let's say they're still having their one-on-one with you, but then they're like distracted and doing things, and so then like that recurring meeting doesn't really make that much sense either. So I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. You know, oh gosh, it's a new week. So just enjoy it, right? Be a good visitor. Respect your hosts.
Do you have anything?
Jamie, do you have anything to share?
No.
All right.
Shared enough.
She's opting out, and I think we're good. Thank you so much. I hope that, maybe we learned a little,
Yeah.
got to rant a little. Hopefully some people were yelling at the podcast screen or whatever, like, I hate when my company does this or that as it pertains to TNL. But we appreciate you all. Thank you so much for joining our meeting. Hard stop.